Hi, welcome to our first month of the Freedom Tribe, where we'll explore freedom from the past. And this is such a relevant place to begin because really anything that's keeping us from feeling absolutely free in this moment is based on some kind of fear, story, memory, projection from something that's happened in the past. And there's all kinds of ways that we develop these stories from the past. So first, from your ancestors, your parents, their parents, all these things that we inherit on a cellular level, and also through the stories that are told throughout generation after generation. Then on top of that, there's actually the experiences that you have in this life, or maybe other past lives if that's something that you believe in, that formulate even more stories, memories, and beliefs. And then we also have this kind of collective story, the story of our culture, the story of this earth, the story of being humans on this planet. And all these different stories end up formulating beliefs inside of us that tend to control the way that we're living right here, right now, in a very unconscious way. But the good news is that we absolutely have the ability and the power to change the pattern, flip the script, by living more consciously in the here and now. And on my own personal journey in unraveling these limits and these blocks that I had developed from experiences of the past, I've discovered 5 different gateways that we're going to work through this month. Gateways for accessing greater freedom. And I'm going to explain them in a linear way, but it's not necessarily a linear process. So don't be surprised if you're moving in and out of these different gateways and it's not happening in this specific order. So the first gateway that we'll explore is awareness. Pretty obvious, right? You need to know what the stories are and maybe have some ideas about where they might come from if you actually want to start healing them. It's like, when you finally open up the closet or look under the bed, at least then you can see what you're working with. On another level, this can be really helpful because once you bring your awareness to unconscious stories and patterns, you can see them not necessarily as you or who you are, but as simply a story that's influenced and affected you in your life. So I'm not that thing that happened. I've just been affected by that thing that happened. And that can make it feel a lot less overwhelming and can be a lot more empowering, which is connected with our next gateway, which is responsibility. This is one to be just very gentle with yourself, because what can happen is we can go from a place of victimhood right into a place of blame, right? And it's not about blaming yourself for things that have happened, especially if you've endured any kind of abuse or trauma. It's not your fault, and it's not about blaming yourself for it. What it is about is seeing the ways in your life that you are an active participant in what has happened, and the ways that you have participated in certain things that you've experienced, so that you can feel an ability to truly make change in your life instead of just things happening to you all the time. The next gateway after that is a pretty difficult one, actually, and it's acceptance. And I love this one because we come from a culture that's so obsessed with fixing things, and acceptance is all about surrendering the need to do anything about it, surrendering the need to change it. And I find that this is truly the key to letting go. I'll tell you a little personal story that connects with acceptance. Those of you who read my blog are probably very familiar with an old love story that I have connected with someone who I met in Costa Rica many years ago. And it just became this story that seemed to get in the way of me being able to experience love again or having the kind of relationship that I deserve. So I was always asking myself, what can I do about this? Why can't I seem to let this go? And I tried so many things to let it go, to move on, and nothing would ever work. So finally I left Costa Rica, and I thought that I actually needed to do that in order to move on and let go. And I went and I did this really amazing transformational dance training when I was in northern Thailand in Chiang Mai. And the thing about dancing in a meditation with your eyes closed for hours and hours every day is that there really is no escape from the stories of your past, because the stories will come up and you will be dancing with them every single day. So needless to say, I was dancing with my eyes closed in these stories with this man back in Costa Rica. And it was very frustrating for me. And then finally one day, I had this just aha moment, this realization of, okay, maybe I'm always going to feel this way. Maybe I'm never going to get over this. And so what? And it was actually such an amazing moment, because for the first time ever, I felt like I could let it go. Giving myself permission to never let it go and to never move on was actually exactly the thing that I needed in order to do that. And that's not to say that I won't necessarily get stuck in that story again, or that it's not ever going to come up. But simply by accepting myself in that moment exactly the way that I felt and not needing to change it offered me immediate freedom. And once you can accept these things, it makes the next gateway pretty much happen naturally, which is gratitude. Gratitude is a word that's used a lot, especially in the kind of personal development and spiritual world. And sometimes I think it can feel a little bit forced, right? We do have so much to be grateful for, and that's absolutely true. But sometimes it's very hard to see the beauty in something or the gratitude in something. And the pain and suffering is real also, and we don't want to deny that. So how do you find gratitude in these really difficult stories where maybe you feel like a victim, or it's easy to blame others? It doesn't feel fair. And for this, I learned an amazing practice and mantra from this teacher named Matt Kahn. And I've included a video of his as well in the guide that I really recommend watching. And essentially, it's just asking yourself this question: how is this here to help me? In every single situation, in every single struggle, in every single story that seems to be holding you back, how is this here to help me? And you could even go so far as to actually just say, thank you for helping me, even if you don't yet know how it's helping you. Because that's really starting to rewire your brain to start looking for the gift in every single experience. And then you can actually turn some of these icky stories into really quite beautiful ones. And finally, we have the gateway of forgiveness. And forgiveness is such a healing way to experience freedom, because ultimately it's about opening to something beyond the story. It's about pulling yourself out of the shit of the story. And forgiveness, I feel, is something that it can't be forced, and it's not just something that's said or even thought in the mind. It's something that needs to be felt and experienced through the heart, something that arises naturally through the practice of cultivating greater love within yourself to be able to offer greater love beyond yourself. And for that, we'll be working with a really beautiful Hawaiian ritual for forgiveness called Ho'oponopono, and that will be in our recorded meditation that's included in the guide. I've also included a recommended reading on Ho'oponopono if you want to learn more about it or just deepen your practice with it. Make sure to also do the dance playlist this month. You'll have lots and lots of opportunities to really bring awareness to some of these stories, shed emotions, go quite deep within yourself. Our yoga practice will be yin, so it's a very rested, surrender-focused practice to help you let go simply through stillness. And I also will have every Monday a special exploration that I'll email to you that will help you work with the theme in your life. remember to come over to our private Facebook group and ask any questions that you have, or if you need support throughout the experience, or if you just want to share a little bit about what you're going through, or maybe offer some of your own information and insights and wisdom that you've collected on your path. I would love to hear from you and connect with you there. And I hope you enjoy. Namaste.